3 messages before today's interview educates and motivates you. First, if you're a domain name investor, don't you have unique legal needs that require domain name technical know-how and industry experience? That's why you need David Westlow of Wiley Ryan. Go search for David Westlow on Domain Sherpa, watch his interview, and you can see for yourself that he can clearly explain issues, can help you with buy-sell agreements, deal with website content issues and UDRP actions, and even help you write your website terms and conditions. David Westlow is the lawyer to call for internet legal issues. See for yourself at newmediaip.com. Second, managing multiple domain name marketplace and auction site accounts is a pain. Inevitably, you forget to sign into one and you lose a great domain, or worse. Now imagine using a single, simple to use and comprehensive control panel to manage all of your accounts. That's Protrata. You can set up search filters, analyze domains, automate bidding, list domain names for sale, buy domains across all major marketplaces. Protrata also has a new semantic engine that builds Google-friendly websites with rich content and network feeds. Sign up at protrata.com to get 20 free credits and start building and monetizing your domains today. Finally, if you have questions about domain names, where should you go to ask them? The answer is dnforum.com. Not only is DN Forum the largest domain name forum in the world, it's the best. You can learn about domain names and the industry, buy and sell domain names, talk about the domain name news that's happening in the industry, and even meet domainers just like yourself. Register for a free DN Forum account and begin advancing your skills and knowledge today. And when you do sign up, send me a friend request so we can connect on DN Forum. Here's your program. Hey everyone, my name is Michael Seiger and I'm the publisher of DomainSherpa.com, the website where you come to learn how to become a successful domain name investor directly from the experts. On Monday, June 20th, 2011, ICANN made approved plans to make changes to the domain name industry by increasing the number of generic top-level domains from the current 22 to potentially hundreds within the next few years. I interviewed David Westlow, a leading IP and domain name attorney who is following the proceedings live. His interview is on the website. I've also interviewed Juan Calle, founder and CEO of the .co domain registry, who shared many lessons learned about how to launch a successful TLD. And I've recently interviewed Stuart Lawley, the man who spent half a decade fighting to launch the XXX top-level domain and where they're heading with that. But now we're at a much different time. Hundreds or thousands of top-level domains may be launched within the next few years. The noise level is going to be a magnitude or two higher. And the only way that new registries are going to be able to separate themselves from their competitors is probably going to be through marketing. So I've invited a company today to help us understand the basics of TLD marketing. They're experts in the topic and they've worked on many other successful TLD launches. Joining us from her business launch party is CEO Jennie-Marie Larsen from DomainDiction.com. Jennie-Marie, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Michael. Glad to be here.
Jennie-Marie, we're going to go over 3 different marketing tactics that you'd like to share with companies that are or organizations that are launching new TLDs that will help accelerate their market entry as a new registry, get them more customers, get them more visibility, more top of mind with their customers. But let me start by asking you, since you're better versed in the top level domain process than most, how many new top-level domains do you anticipate we'll see when ICANN does the big reveal?
Well, I can tell you it's a little bit more than the many insiders actually thought it might be. There was a guessing game. You probably heard of Sadari. Sadari did a guessing game on how many new applications there would be, and it wasn't expected to go over 2,000. So that's it's a little more than everybody thought, which is very exciting.
Yeah. So you think it'll be over 2,000?
Well, it looks like that, but given the numbers that ICANN has released, it does. Yeah. It looks like it's going to be, reasonably well over 2,000. Yeah.
Excellent. And how many are likely to be public TLDs that you or I can register a domain name in versus how many will be private, like somebody wants to own their brand?
Well, I mean, this is just a finger in the air based on conversations that we've had. So I think it's probably going to be 25% brands. Because it's quite a heavy decision to go ahead and apply to run your own TLD. And really the very committed brands who know that their name is sharp, it's short, it's smart, it'll look good, it'll look right, and their online presence is a critical piece of their business. I know there'll be so many brands coming out in the first round, but I'm going to say 25%.
All right.
Yeah.
And of the new public TLDs that are going to come out that regular people can register, what'll separate the winners from the losers in your mind?
Probably many, many months ago when they came up with the name and came up with it based on marketplace for it. It's the hardest project of all is to try and come up with a great generic that serves the marketplace as the top generics have done so far. So I think the very, very clever new TLDs are going to be the ones that picked a marketplace, picked a niche, picked a geography, picked a community that they know intimately, they know how to speak to them, they know how to reach them, they know what makes that industry tick. I think those are going to be the smart ones coming out, the ones that really understand how to get your voice to the marketplace.
Great. And so a lot of people have difficulty with that. They may see an opportunity in a certain area, but they may not be experts in that area, so they may not know what the voice of the marketplace is saying. I've read in your press release that your company is the first marketing consultancy dedicated solely to the top-level domains. Is that something that your organization focuses on, helping connect, registry applicants with the industry voice?
Well, I think a large part of great marketing in general is to find good partnerships. Is to find good channels and friends towards the market and figure out which of the organizations, which of the associations, which of the people that an industry follows, that they respect, that they look up to, that they look for trends from. So that's going to be something that we aim to do on top of creating relationships with registrars and resellers. We want to make sure that new TLDs can be creative in the way that they go to market. And I think that this will be very new to the way this industry markets, but to make sure that the relationships are industry-based versus domain industry-based.
Right. All right. Great point. So what is your background, Jennie-Marie? Have you been in the domain name industry for a while with marketing and working with new TLDs?
Well, it was almost 10 years ago that I remember interviewing with Newstar and having done hours and hours of study on what are TLDs, what's a registry and a registrar and and I have funny acronyms that I use for myself to remember all those funny words, and thinking, what is this business? And having to explain to who was interviewing me at the time what I thought the opportunity was for .biz, because that was in the very first round of new TLDs. And so coming from the outside and trying to come up with reasons why that was going to be a successful new space and why it had a shot at competing with .com. So the new TLD round feels very familiar to me, because I was part of the very first new TLD round, almost 10 years ago. So I was with Newstar for a number of years, and then actually left the industry entirely and moved to Norway, of all places, and have done a lot of marketing and PR and business development for a variety of industries, including digital music and various technologies and web-based technologies. So I've been in and out of the domain industry for many years, but I couldn't stay away with the new TLD opportunity. It's just too exciting to stay away. So I'm back.
Excellent. And you don't look pale enough to have lived in Norway for the past 10 years.
I snuck off to France.
All right.
I've been in France for the past few months.
And you've got a who's who on your team at domaindiction.com. I looked through the executive team. You really have some stellar players. Do you want to talk about just a few of the people and their contributions to the team?
Well, I think we're really, really, and knock on wood, we're really excited about the team, and I was really thrilled that everybody wanted to come on board with this opportunity that is, to some people may look like a gamble, because it's not a guarantee that new TLDs will be successful, but it's such an exciting opportunity that I think the bright minds decided I have to give a go at this. So one side that we've got a lot of experience in, I'm very excited about, is from the registrar marketing side. And not just necessarily ICANN accredited registrars, but resellers who were very big and are very big. So I'm excited to have John Kirkham, who has he's got layers of experience. Started with Host Europe as their head of marketing and was with a marketing agency before that, and then was with Melbourne IT. I'm looking to Melbourne IT, and then moved to France to marry his sweetheart, and actually built a registrar in France. So I think John's experience is so broad that he can really contribute to many, many different pieces of the marketing sort of food chain. And then there's Tina. Tina Lord comes from Easy Space. So she was Chief Marketing Officer for one of the big UK registrars. And Tina and I worked together in the launch of the new TLDs. And she was one of the people who kept pressing me and saying, but wait a minute, why do my customers want this? Tell me why they want this. What am I going to say to my customers that is going to make them want this? How do I present this in an intuitive way? So Tina asked the hard questions, which you have to. It's critical. And another veteran that we're very excited to have on board is Pinky Brand. And Pinky's another extremely experienced individual that comes from the intellectual property registrar side, which he built years and years ago, and I later sold that, and has worked for registries, registrars, and recently was with Affilius and built .mobi together with Alexa Rad, who you've come across. So that was a really very dynamic team, and I think one of the better examples of how to create added value for a TLD. .mobi was one of the very first TLDs that does more than is just a domain name. So, we're going to use .mobi in many ways to demonstrate exciting ways that you can make more out of a TLD. So that's a thrill to have Pinky on board. And we've got Christoph Hausel, who is he's Affilius's marketing guru, and I'm on borrowed time with him because he's a consultant for us. But he and I worked together years and years ago in the German side of marketing, and there's very few people who have more press connection, more press dialogue than Christoph. So when something new is happening, journalists come to him because he is the domain name voice. So that's very exciting to have him on board.
By understanding the expertise of your team, now people can start to see how all the pieces of the puzzle fit together to try and get any new TLD off the ground.
There's so many moving parts,
there
right?
Really
As a
are.
new TLD, you can't just say, well, I'm going to build some nice marketing material, and I'm going to send some emails to the registrar channel, and they're going to pick me up.
Well, and I think a lot of people have thought that in the past. I don't like to single out certain domain names, but if I were to go ask my mom if she's ever heard of .com, she'd say yes. .net, yes. .org, yes. .edu, yes. But if I were to ask her, hey, have you ever heard of .aero, .travel, .museum?
Yeah.
She would say, those aren't real.
That what?
Yeah, exactly. And so before we get into the tactics, is it fair to say that some TLD launches have been unsuccessful, even though the registry may be making money?
I feel like that's a conversation that is ongoing. Is what is a successful TLD? And I know that many share the opinion that a successful TLD is based on a TLD's specific goals. And it's not necessarily about registering hundreds of thousands of domain names. It's about registering enough domain names to cover costs or to create a decent business that is sustainable. So that's all in the eye of the beholder. I happen to be of the opinion that you need to sell enough that you're noticed by your marketplace. So if I'm marketing a TLD and 1% of the market is using it, I don't think that's a success. I want the market to have heard of that TLD, and when they're registering a domain name, that they consider it because they know it's a part of their market. That's what I would consider a successful TLD. If it's accepted, if it's used.
Yeah. Right.